Hello ladies and jelly spoons. Welcome to 24K movies, TV shows, and video game reviews. The place where our viewpoint is never paid for. Our comments are never sponsored. We just give it to you real. If it's good, we give it to you live. If it's bad, we give that shit a dive. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for filling the TV show reviews that I've just done. I just did Married with Children the other day. You guys killed my Wonder Years and the Cosby Show. I thank you guys. I'm nothing without you guys. You guys make my channel what it is. So I was treated this morning to a brand new Amazon movie. What is it? I'll let you know. That's right. War of the Worlds, starring Ice Cube. War of the Worlds. Your data is deadly. War of the Worlds. Now, ladies and jelly spoons, the picture is worth 1,000 words. The movie, even more. But before I unpack what I just saw, I'm going to give you, hopefully there's a trailer for it. I believe there is, but I'm going to show you real quick, and then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to unpack the movie so that you don't have to. Really, you don't have to. There's a lot of movies in the world that you could skip. This would be one of them. Unless you want to watch a 90-minute Amazon commercial, then by all means, enjoy. So let's go to the trailer.
Hey. See, you took the Sunday graveyard shift again. Dad, when's the last time you left the office?
That's classified.
The surveillance industrial complex is collecting massive amounts of data with the Goliath program. Our most precious resource on Earth is data. And data is food for the superior intelligence.
Dad, you seen this? You seen this? Can you tell yet what they're comprised of?
No, sir. I've never seen anything like this.
Eyewitness video is coming in from all over the world. Terrifying machines rising out of these meteors.
Get away from that! Get out of there! I'm coming for you now!
Okay, that was the trailer to War of the Worlds, starring Ice Cube. Where to begin? Okay. First of all, this face, get used to that. Because for 90 minutes, that's what you're looking at. Right there. That's what you're looking at for 90 minutes. So if you love Ice Cube, you're gonna love watching this movie because it's just cute. So let's start off. I would say the good, the bad, and the ugly, but it's more like the bad, the worst, and the disgusting. So let's start with the bad. Number one, this entire movie. Okay, so I'm gonna give it credit because this movie was being filmed in 2020, and as most of you remember 2020, that was the start of COVID and the locking down, which is why no two actors are seen together in this movie. They're all separate, and there's a lot of Zoom calls, there's a lot of internet and phone interface, and There's just a question. Some of the angles that you get in this movie, because none of it is shot first person, it's all behind screens. Even the end of the movie is behind screens and pictures. Nothing is traditional movie film, which on paper sounds brilliant, absolutely brilliant, but in execution, horrible. So let's start with one. CG. Because this entire movie takes place on a computer and cell phones and electronically. I just have a question. Jurassic Park came out like 40 years ago. I know that sounds crazy. It's like 30 something years ago, almost 40 years ago. I think it came out like was it 92? Was it like 92?
93.
92, 93. That's like 37, 38 years ago. So almost 40 years. Why was the CG believable and accomplishable with VFX and CG and practical back in 1993, almost 40 years ago?
It's 32 years. But I get the point.
How was CG so believable and credible almost 40 years ago, but in today's society with movies and all the technology we have, I've seen better effects and VFX and computer generated, which is what CG stands for, on YouTube in regular people's videos. I watched the Machinima series, which did Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, on YouTube, and I'm gonna say, how are regular people with almost no budget able to accomplish believable and astonishing special effects and CG when studios such as Amazon, which spent $1 billion on the Lord of the Rings series? Okay, so I have a theory. This is my theory, and it'll help you look at this movie with a different set of eyes. How about that? Here's my theory. And it may get me into trouble. I don't know. We'll see. My theory on this War of the Worlds movie is they're introducing you to a concept of total control electronically. They're showing you how they can track you, how they can look into your life, what's capable, what is capable by today's standards of electronic surveillance. They're introducing you to a concept. And if you look at that, the movie has an aspect that is watchable. Now, I have watched many B-rated movies. I've watched many C-rated movies. I've even been known to watch a D-rated movie every now and then. And I know what you're asking me. What the hell is a D-rated movie? Mansquito is a D-rated movie. A man who was infected and got the abilities of half man and half mosquito. That premiered on Sci-Fi. I watched that full movie. Matter of fact, I've watched it a couple times just to see if I could look at it through a different set of goggles and eyes. And no, it's Mansquito. It's as horrible as it sounds. Just below Mansquito, which that's a D movie. If you're not aware, there's A movies, there's B movies, there's C movies, which a lot of people didn't know existed. Then there's D movies. Now you're asking, well, what's below a D movie? That would be an F movie. And a lot of people don't believe F movies exist. But just off the top of my head, I can think of a few. Solo with Mario Van Peebles. A man who is a soldier who got the abilities of Michael Jordan, the fighting style of Bruce Lee. And before you think I'm capping, Google it. Go to YouTube, look up the trailer. It is a real movie, Solo. And I think they called it Solo because it's solo. You can't see that shit. And then off the top of my head, Geely, Ben Affleck, and J-Lo. There's bad, and then there's uber bad, and there's just, I can't believe I sat through this. Now, the reason why I give War of the Worlds a C-class movie, which is below B, I give it a C-class movie because there are 3 principles in it that make it watchable. Number 1, the concept of surveillance and the way it's surveilled and the way it's told, it is a brilliant device. There were a few movies that used this moniker where people were killed through cyberspace on YouTube and computer things, and there's Stay Alive where you're playing a game and the game comes to life, and what happens in the game happens in real life. So the premise is not lost on me about technology being the platform for your movie. So I give you credit there. Number two, we're not going to go to the CG monsters and everything like that, because all the other, there's been like 12 War of the World movies, including the original one, including a Tom Cruise one, including the one that came out across the pond over in England. There's been a ton of War of the Worlds movies. All of them have come here to harvest us. Well, in this movie, the machines came here to harvest data. I'll say that again. I don't think you guys heard me. The machines came here to harvest data. You know, your YouTube account, that Google account, you know, AOL, Hotmail, your Amazon account, your gift cards. They came here to harvest data. They came here to eat data. That's the premise.
They came here to spy on your Facebook.
They didn't come here to spy. They eat data. That's the real premise of this movie. They've said it 4 times. They've come here to eat data. That's why the slogan is, your data is deadly. That's more of a negative, not a positive. So the last positive I will give, they have a talent cast of actors. I don't know the gentleman that plays Ice Cube's son. I seen the dude that played the Amazon delivery driver. And we're going to pause that right there for 1 second. Because inherently, you're not smart, Amazon. You're not smart. This is a 90-minute Amazon commercial. They introduce you to every concept Amazon does, Amazon can do, and Amazon will do in the future. And when it gets to the last act of this movie, it's basically just an Amazon commercial. I don't know how much this movie cost to make, but I would say probably a couple $1 million Amazon commercial. And you're not slick, because it came to a point where Amazon was mentioned so many times with the delivery, the drone delivery, him signing up, your package is delivered, how we delivered, how good we... There was just so much. And don't get me wrong, Amazon, it's your platform. I get it. But in the middle of watching Stranger Things, there's not a Netflix commercial. They don't talk about Netflix in Stranger Things. It's not like they're on Netflix and they talk about Netflix and reference Netflix in Stranger Things. I get what you're trying to do. We didn't need the Amazon commercial in this, but I figured, you know, hey, it's a sponsor. And this is funny because this is the #2 movie on their platform right now. This is the #2 movie. And I have a theory of why it's #2 across their platform. It's because it's so bad, people can't believe it and have to watch it to see it for themselves. I am one of those people. Now, I've looked on social media today, and almost everybody's account of this movie is negative. It's even Jeremy Johns said it's dog shit. And then there's a few people here and there, which it says in their account, they're sponsored. Oh, it's the greatest movie ever. Oh, it's so awesome. You got to see this movie. I love this movie. And you're paid to give a positive view. And I give you credit for that. Now, this is not a negative review at all. I see light in the end of the tunnel in this movie. The problem is, the biggest problem is, and it's gonna sound bad because I love the guy. I love him in everything I've seen him in. But let's talk about casting for the perfect part. Eva Longoria, she did a great job in what she was and what she was doing. The young actors that play his son and his daughter, great job. They were great at what they doing. They were believable in their character. The only person in this movie that was not believable because of reaction, because of reality and response that I could not feel is the main lead, Ice Cube. And I feel bad Because in B-rated movies like Anaconda, his acting was amazing. Are we there yet? Boys in the Hood, he has acting chops. He has acting chops. Let me say that to you one more time. He has acting chops. The guy can act. But he wasn't the right cast for this movie. His reactions, and here's the thing that I think that's probably what happened. I think during COVID, when this was being filmed and everybody was doing social distancing and lifting up, there were no practical effects for him to respond to. Somebody just gave him an action and told him to respond to it. Because there's a couple of points in this movie where it's not even a realistic reaction to a human being, let alone a urban brown skin human being. He's from the hood. I'm from the hood. There are certain hood responses that were not present. And everything he's been in, even the Triple X sequel where he took over for Xander Cage, which was Vin Diesel, he had believable hood presence in it. His actions, his reactions, while it may not be the best of the two Triple X films, I felt him in it. He did a great job. In War of the Worlds, it's almost as if somebody just typed on the screen, act like your daughter's in danger. Act like your son is in danger. Look, a machine just popped out of an alien cube. And his reaction, probably the first take, I don't know if they did several takes, but his first reaction was what they used for the film. Now, there's two minds of thinking in this. Number one, the person who edited that footage of Ice Cube picked out the wrong cuts and put them together. That can be. I've seen it done before in other movies. On the other hand, that was the best of those takes, and somebody spliced them together when they created this movie, and this was the final credible addition, which I hope was not the fact. Because there are moments, and I say this genuinely, no disrespect, there are moments in this movie where I could almost feel what they were going for and had a chance to be a brand new take on an old movie that would have been awesome. But then on the other hand, there are moments in this movie where I simply said, get the fuck out of here. And all of those moments were present with Ice Cube, unfortunately. I'm gonna be real. Y'all asked me to be real. We do real movie reviews. He is a great actor in the things that I've seen him in. He is a great musician. He can act. Friday, he's hilarious in the movies that he's hilarious in, and he's serious in the movies that he's serious in. But War of the Worlds was not a project he needed. War of the Worlds is, some people have bad movies and they're good in those bad movies. Some people have movies where actors just phone in their response. They phone in their acting. This was neither. I don't know who shot this movie this way. And it's not because the entire movie was on a laptop or a cell phone or a tablet. I'm okay with that. It's his reactions to the things that are going on that are not believable. They're not real. They're not real at all. There wasn't one moment where I actually believed he cared about these kids. Number one, let's just get this off the table. I'm on a computer screen. I'm talking to my child. A meteor crashes and an alien comes out of it. My first response, my first reaction, which is in every action movie, every apocalyptic action movie, every alien invasion movie, every movie period, the parents' first response is to go get their kids. Go and protect them, fight your way to them, drive through traffic, fight aliens, whatever it is. Get to your kids. For the first 25 to 30 minutes of this alien invasion, he never thinks to leave from beyond his computer. He never thinks to go and get his kids. Not once. Until the point where you, the viewer, say, why don't you just go and get your damn kids? And then they write it in the script for him to try and go get his kids, but the building is locked down. Do you see what I'm saying with the continuity error? If you had made us aware of the building locking down beginning, we would have understood why he couldn't go for his kids. It's a helplessness feeling. And with 1 billion movies created, this is a simple premise that always is put forth across the audience when it comes to a parent's child in danger. Secondly, from the moment they started showing what Ice Cube's job was, and this is going to sound bad, but it's true. The person, I'm not even speaking Ice Cube, not even saying him as the actor. In this movie, and the writing, the person responsible with the access that he has should not be in that job. Period. Absolutely, period. Not credible in the least. And let me tell you something. I know a lot about computers. I know a lot about intrusions, Python, and a lot of things being represented in this movie as hacking, as computer intrusions, as viruses. And I'm doing the quotations because people who are really about that life understand there is a lot in this movie that you're going to be like, get the fuck out of here. There ain't no way. Yes. So believability in a movie like this is a simple premise that you have to put forth at the beginning. You have to buy that the actor, the main actor, is capable of doing this job. Period. Period. Without equivocations. I've seen 1,000 movies. I've seen 1,000 hackers. I know hackers in real life. I'm just going to go ahead and say out of all of them, and I don't mean 90%, 80%, 70%, 60%. Out of all of them, none of them are represented by his character. None of them. Absolutely none of them. None of them. Zero. Zilch. Zip. Bupkis. None. When it comes to a War of the Worlds movie, when it comes to an alien invasion movie, there are 3 simple principles. Aliens invade, humans fall at the feet and have to fight back, they overcome the aliens, the end. If the aliens aren't here for humans, they're just here for the data, then the whole alien attack and human beings dying, what's the premise? What's the purpose? Because they're not here for humans. Every other War of the Worlds movies, they were here to harvest humans. Here for humans for a certain reason. This movie makes you believe they're not here for humans. They're only here for the data. And there inherent lies the problem. Why? Why would a superior race of aliens with technology that far exceeds our own be interested in our data? Our Facebooks, our Amazon accounts, our wish list, our Pornhub views. Why would any of them be interested in data when the commodity is humans?
By the way, you were talking about the budget of this film. Unfortunately, they didn't configure. There's no budget to speak of. They said, this is what I got from my little Google. No budget figures are available for the 2025 adaptation of War of the Worlds.
Of course there wouldn't be. Of course there wouldn't be. Because it's a commercial.
It says the film was produced using Screenlight technology, which allowed for the actors and crew to work in individual workspaces.
That's what I said. I know it was during COVID.
Suggesting it may have been a cost-effective approach to filmmaking.
Of course it was cost-effective. You saw the CG. I can do better CG in Adobe After Effects. I can do better CG. I've done better CG in my videos. That's the insane part. But this is a professional studio with a professional budget with professional actors.
And it says this technology is described as providing the look of commercial event film, but at a budget of the contained thriller.
And that's the point. When it comes to making a blockbuster alien attack movie, unfortunately, it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you some cake. It's gonna cost you some bread, some ducats, some loot, some cash, some kappa. It's gonna cost you because you need a budget to perform what you're trying to pull off. Now, this is the amazing part about it. How many of you remember the original H.G. Wells story of War of the Worlds when it first came out? It wasn't even a physical feature movie. It was told on a radio. So your mind, your imagination came up with the thoughts and what you saw and what was going on. When War of the Worlds first aired on a radio, the people thought it was a real broadcast, thought they was really being attacked by aliens, and did not know that it was a telecast. They thought it was real. They panicked. There were real people hiding and fleeing and going in basements and preparing because they did not know it was real. That's what the words and the material of War of the Worlds can do. You having the ability of a physical budget to see these words come to life, this is where you lost the concept. You can go back to the Tom Cruise version of the movie, which is far superior to this. Why was it better? Number one, narration. At the beginning of every War of the Worlds encounter, there is a narrator narrating the purpose of events to come. It was written that way. Remember that. It was written that way. They regarded our world with envious eyes. Think about it. Think about how captivating, and even Morgan Freeman citing in that movie. For neither do men live or die in vain. By the total of 1 billion souls, human beings earn their right to exist amongst this universe's and world's infinite organisms. There is a simplicity when it comes to words and how they are brought across in a movie like this. The technical version of this movie that they tried to portray, you should not have called this War of the Worlds. I'll tell you how this movie could have succeeded way better than what it is right now. Number one, instead of an actor like Ice Cube, have an AI program that's controlling these interests, run the algorithm, and help human beings, and help a certain human being who is a hacker overcome what's happening. Think about this movie in that light. Remove Ice Cube, create an AI computer algorithm that the son, who was a hacker, hacked into, talked to, and found out about this gigantic wool being pulled over the public's eyes. Now this AI and this kid have to join together a fight to save the world. Guarantee you would have been a better movie, even at the budget and special effects they used in this movie. Number two, let's do a little flip of this. Ice Cube, who's in his job, sees this happening. He leaves this place. He goes to his kids and he fights to save his kids. He fights with his kids in the streets to get back to this place. And then he needs all his kids, his pregnant, injured daughter, and her boyfriend, and Eva Longoria had he picked up along the way. And they're all trapped into this building. And you get this moment of claustrophobia as they're fighting for their lives and trying to save humanity. And then they overcome and win together. 100%. 100% better right there. That is a different aspect of coming at this movie. Two different ways that would have made this movie better immensely. But I digress. At its heart, to me, this is a 90-minute Amazon commercial. And in that, it's the best damn commercial I ever seen in my entire life. I'll give you that. I will give you that. If you wanted to bring front across the ability of technology to showcase just what the government is capable of, great job. Not lost on me. May get you in trouble, but great job. As a movie, a feature-length film to entertain, that's where it sucks. Unfortunately, that's where it sucks. But unlike everybody else's view that gives you a viewpoint and says, oh, it just sucks, they're not examining the aspects of this movie that clash with the parts that suck. See, there is definitely intrigue, definitely a way to tell a story, but it clashes with the suckage so much to the point that the suckage kind of overtakes it, and then you get to the point where you're just like, he's a great actor. He is. I've seen a ton of things he's been in. A ton of things. So it's not him. So if it's not him, it had to be the direction. It had to be the production. It had to be the editing process. Because a lot had to come together to make this suck. Because, like I said, there's definite light parts in this movie where I'm just like, that is a brilliant concept. That's pretty damn amazing. And then it's topped over by something stupid that happens. And I'm just like, why? Why did you need that in here? Like, that doesn't make sense. To give you case in point, his daughter, who's pregnant, she's in an attack area. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. Turn away you should have turned away like 10, 15 minutes ago. I'm sorry about that. But spoiler alert now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler alert. His daughter, she has an injury to her leg with a piece of metal in it. Now, her daughter is smart. She's a scientist. She's going through all these things, so she's highly educated. She thinks it's a great idea to take this impaled thing, which is keeping her leg from bleeding out, because she's smart and she knows that you don't pull things out that would cause a bleed to bleed worse because they're plugging a bleed while they're in you. That's just simple medical knowledge. Anybody who's watched ER, Grey's Anatomy, or any medical drama on TV knows that. Anybody who's read a health book, anybody who's went to health class knows when something is impaled, you don't just yank it out. Especially if it's impaled and it's not really bleeding, that means it's plugging a bleeder. You pull it out, you bleed to death, you die. So while she's sitting there, he hacks into a car, a Tesla. There's another sponsor. Hacks into a Tesla, programs it to drive her to his building for safety. Now, as she's in the car in pain and she's having labor issues, she lays her phone down, but the technology lets you see through the car's cameras. It lets you see through the car's cameras, every one of them, every point of view. There's a camera somehow in the dashboard. There's a camera in the ceiling. There's a camera in the back seat around the side so that he can talk to her. And it's voice activated. And I know about OnStar, and I know about people being able to talk to you in a car and remote start it and things like that. So I do understand that technology exists, but that's not the point. So as he's controlling this car and talking to his daughter while her phone is down, and part of me was just like, we won't keep going. We will keep going. He calls out to the boyfriend and says, "Get to her, boy. I'm gonna put my foot in your ass." Because, you know, only Ice Cube could do Ice Cube lines. And the boy, said boy, says, "All right, I'm making it to her." And then a part of me said, you guys thought of every aspect of camera in the car, which is pretty smart. But how does this boy know where to go since you told him to go to her office? That's where he's heading. You put her in a car and sent her to a different location. How does he know where to go? And it's almost as if they knew they had fucked up. Because literally the next scene is him texting her to her phone because she's not looking at it, but he's texting her to her phone so she can get the message. And it says, "Give him your location." The movie, instead of correcting the mistake in the movie, it wrote something to generate a response because it knew people would have trouble with it. Now, this is where I think AI played a huge part of writing this movie. I would not be surprised if AI wrote the script. I would not be surprised if AI did majority of the writing, ideas, and concept for this film. I would not be surprised. There is something going on in this movie that's beneath the movie's interior that they're trying to purvey. And it is a message. And that is where I found this movie very intriguing. There is a message in this movie. There is a warning in this movie. There is a lesson in this movie. And there is kind of a movie in this movie. All three concepts are blended together almost seamlessly until you understand that, one, there is a commercial in this movie for Amazon. That's right. There is a 90-minute commercial in this movie for Amazon. You see an Amazon driver. They tell you about Amazon's prices, how Amazon delivers, how Amazon works, what they're going to work, how their drone delivery works. Your package has arrived. And there is a 90-minute commercial for Amazon in this movie. There is a lesson of how far technology can go and how far beyond it can go and where it can lead in this movie. There is a warning of the technology used, conceived, and perceived and used throughout this movie. So there are things going on in this movie besides the subplot being the movie. Now, when it ended, they faked the death of Ice Cube. And this is where a real director, a real producer, a person with a mindset would have killed him off. And I know what you're saying. He's the star of the movie. Did you guys see Armageddon? Bruce Willis is the star of the movie. Did they not kill him off? It makes your patrons care more when you're willing to sacrifice somebody who is willing to die for their children. He even wrote a goodbye letter to them. And you're like, yeah, he's dead. And then the next minute, he's talking to somebody else. And then they show pictures of a party that you're not invited to that you can't see. And it's a middle finger to the public who watch this movie. You've given nothing to them. You've given them, you try to deliver intense suspense, science fiction, drama, and an alien takeover. But you can't give them the reward of the family. This entire movie, nobody's together. And that's where that COVID comes into effect. Because at the end of this movie, they could have all been together and happy and given us one scene like the end of Too Fast and the Furious where the family comes together. It's about family. And they could have had a barbecue or something. But this was during COVID time. So the actors couldn't get together. So they CG'd a picture of all them together. And it pisses me off because it's lazy. And for this movie to come out now, you could have, with the constraints of COVID being off now, you could have reshot that ending and literally included these stars and actors in it. You could have done that. You could have put each of them together and had this. You could have done that, but you didn't do that. What was the rush to get this out right here, right now? What was the point of literally just dropping this on everybody? There was a trailer 48 hours ago, and then 48 hours later, the movie's out. The question is why? Because there is a purpose and there is a message within this movie if you pay attention. And that, inherently, as they say, lies the rub. Because is this movie a good movie? No! Is this movie a good science fiction movie? No! Is this movie about family and triumph and overcoming adversity through insurmountable obstacles? Hell no! This movie ain't about that. So then you ask me, why, Game Ninja, would you give this a C? Why wouldn't you give this a D? Why wouldn't you give this an F? Well, for one reason. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I spent the entirety of this movie not going to my cell phone. Yeah. It held my attention. And that is a positive. It may have been because I hated the things I was watching. It may have been because I was interested and intrigued in an aspect that I thought was going to go somewhere that went nowhere. It could be because I just wanted to see how deep the rabbit hole goes and what concepts that they were embedding in this movie. But it kept my attention. And there's movies, Mansquito, Geely, Solo. I could not sit through them without looking away, going away, looking on my phone, going to my phone for long periods of time. And that's what I have to give this movie. This movie has the promise of being something great. It has the stage set to deliver greatness. But unfortunately, it does not deliver on that promise. And that's why it can be no more than a C. So what do I give this movie, War of the Worlds, with Ice Cube in 2025? A copper rating, a penny. I give it a penny. It is metal. It's not precious, but I give it a penny. I've definitely seen a lot better movies. I've definitely witnessed a lot better movies. But the subgenres in this movie, I like that, subgenres. Subgenres in this movie, the messages within this movie, the things that they're sewing together within this movie in a weave is brilliant. Not to mention Amazon. You got me to watch a 90-minute Amazon commercial. I don't think anybody realized that shit. Anybody who watched this movie didn't realize you watched a 90-minute Amazon commercial. And as much as y'all hate commercials, as much as y'all skip through commercials, as much as y'all don't like commercials, you sat through a 90-minute commercial. And don't say it's just me, because this is number 2 on their platform. Number 2 in the nation on their platform. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how do you get the world to watch a 90-minute Amazon commercial? By wrapping it up in a sci-fi movie with Ice Cube. Bravo. Bravo. I can't hate. I'm going to congratulate on that. Because I fucking hate commercials. And you got me to watch a 90-minute Amazon commercial. Fucking Amazon. Go ahead, man. Dude, I got to give you props for that. I have to give you props for that. Nobody is bold enough to wrap up a movie in an Amazon commercial and hold people for 90 minutes.
Hey, the Wizard did it.
No. The Wizard did not. In case you didn't know, Nintendo had nothing to do with that movie. Nintendo did not have a sponsor in that movie. In fact, Nintendo was only mentioned 2 times in The Wizard. 2 times. And those scenes are so small and minute, most people don't realize it. They mentioned Nintendo on the phone when they were doing the online guide and when the kid was training in Vegas playing all these games, which 85% of those games weren't even Nintendo games. So Nintendo was not the sponsor in The Wizard. Matter of fact, if you look at the poster of Mario, it's their version of Mario. So it wasn't even licensed. Yeah. By the way, I may do a wizard video just for you guys. I might need to discuss that in further detail because
It still was a good movie.
I didn't say it wasn't a good movie. I just simply said it wasn't a Nintendo branded movie.
It got people to go buy Nintendos.
Unfortunately, the people in the movie don't even play Nintendo. If you look at all the scenes where somebody's playing Nintendo, they're not actually playing Nintendo. It's not even real Nintendo controllers if you look in their hands. See, she started me off on another thing. I got the wizard coming for y'all. We got to discuss some shit. I'm not doing it in this video because this video is already way too long. But we got to talk about the wizard because I had a dream. I analyzed some shit. And the wizard ain't what I think it is. I don't hate it. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate it. But is it a Nintendo movie? No, it is not. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Keep tuning into my channels, and I'll still keep cranking them out. This was War of the Worlds with Ice Cube. Your data is deadly, and you just may have to go to the bathroom after watching this movie. But, ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you to watch it. I can't tell you to see it. I can't tell you to download it. I can't tell you to buy it on DVD. All I can say is this movie came out today, and I watched a 90-minute commercial. If you want to watch a 90-minute Amazon commercial, go right ahead. Be my guest. I did. But Solo, stay away from. Mansquito, stay away from. Geely, stay away from. And yeah, now you know there is such thing as an F-rated movie. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. See you guys for 24K movies and reviews. Till next time, don't watch this movie.